Afternoon or good evening, everyone, from a beautiful place here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm Woman Grandmaster Sabina Feuscher. I'm joined by the fabulous Grandmaster Kaden Truff. Great to be back with round five of the
Yes.
Invitational tournaments, Kaden. How do you feel the tournament's been going on so far?
Uh, this is just one that I feel like I have to tell people to buckle their seatbelt. We're getting into these last two rounds, and the last round was the biggest roller coaster of any round so far. So I have to sort of assume it's going to be the same. We're getting into those last final moments where our winners are going to be decided.
That's
So
right.
it's going
That's
to be
right.
fighting chess and people putting everything on the line, and I think it will be a great round.
I'm very excited for this round five. Tomorrow, the round six and the final round in the invitationals is going to start much earlier at 10 a.m. and that's going to be the final round after which closing ceremony, and some of the players may choose to join in and play in the U.S. Open as well. Although the traditional schedule has started, so 9 rounds in 9 days, it's not possible to join anymore. However, you can still join the US Open by playing 6 days, a 6 day schedule or a 4 day schedule.
Yes.
So take your time, think about it, don't think too much, but maybe you will join us tomorrow evening for the US Open here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Um, so I think we can let people know where each tournament is going, what are the standings, and we
Yes.
can discuss pairings as well so people know what we are up to at the moment.
Yes. So starting, we have the Dinker, Arthur Go. So far, of just about any section, I I feel like has been the most consistent, playing the best chess of anyone. Maybe that
I
I would you agree with that?
I would
He's
totally agree with you, Kaden. He only didn't play well in the game that we thought he was going to lose. He was on the wrong board. And aside from that, I think Arthur has had a great tournament. He is joined in the lead by Max Liu, who is also on 4 points. Both of them, they are playing each other in this round, and it's definitely going to be game we are going to follow in closely, because if one of those players will win, they have a big chance of tying for first in the competition or maybe just winning it. And that's definitely going to be a very exciting game. But there are
yes.
some other players who are really close there. There's Nicolas de la Colina and Gus Houston. Both of them are on 3.5. And it's gonna be
Yeah.
exciting to see which one of those can, win their game and get close to the leaders, or maybe catch up with the leader or
Yes,
leaders of the tournament.
for I mean, obviously our eyes are gonna be on the Arthur and Max Lu game, but for Gus and Nicholas, they're on 3.5. They cannot afford to draw. They have to be fighting for the win because if they draw and one of these top two wins, that's it. Like you're just playing to tie for first. So, big matchup between these two. Definitely expect that to have some fireworks.
I definitely agree. I mean, we're definitely going to see some fireworks there, and then let's check out the next tournament, the
The
Barber.
Barber. So this is these standings are pretty interesting. You have the top the top two players in the top three, Brewington Hardaway on 3.5, because he had to take a first round bye, and Eric Zhao, the second highest rated player, on 4 out of 4. Now, Eric has had probably the most adventurous path to 4 out of 4, but he's managed to keep the fight going in every game and get there, and it will be uh, fun to watch the battle of the Erics.
That's true. That is true. Also, we did meet with Ronan in the break, in the
Yes.
little break that we had. We did meet with Ronan. Ronan is the one who lost in the previous round against FIDE Master Eric Zhao. And Ronan was telling us that he missed some opportunity. He didn't have much time, but he hopes to come back. He's gonna have a tough game playing against the highest seed, against Brewington Hardaway. So it's still going to be a tough one
Yes.
for him. Brewington is approaching and trying to catch up with the leaders, trying to kind of, um, show that sometimes you can take a bye and just catch up, maybe. But I'm sure Ronan is going to put up a good fight, and hopefully, we are going to have an enjoyable game. I'm not trying to take any sides, so I'll just leave it at that for that tournament. It's gonna be very exciting.
Yes. It may work out perfectly though. I think it will have a really good matchup. I mean, obviously some good matchups in this round, but I think we'll have a good final matchup as we're approaching that last round. Next up is the Ruth Herring event, and what really stands out if you're looking at the standings here, I would say, is this right here. You have one of the younger competitors that currently tops the standings.
Yes.
So very impressive. 4 out of 4 from Jwalanthi
I think
Ram.
it's Juan Lanthi Ram, but feel free to let us know if you see us on the um, walking close to the playing area. Please let us know if we're not pronouncing your name or your friend's name or your daughter, son's names correctly. We will try our best to improve with our pronunciation. And by the way, Joalanti is playing against the highest rated player in the tournament, FIDE Master Yan Ruyang, who's had a nice win this morning and stands behind with 3.5. So it's if Yan manages to win this game, then she's going to be sharing first place or being the only one solo first
Yes.
place in the competition. So it will be an exciting game for sure. And then there are two other players with 3.5. Esther Zhao. I'm not sure. That's definitely not a good pronunciation. And Nastasia Matush. That's going to be a tough and interesting game too.
Yes.
Hopefully, we get the chance to watch as many of these games as possible. um,
Yeah,
the people
absolutely.
as we move on to the next tournament, the Irwin tournament, we do have a question from Noir. Hi Noir, by the way, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I did play in the U.S. Open one time, but it was just I think I only played for five rounds. Then I had to withdraw. I
Mm.
had to go back. Something happened. What about yourself?
I did. I played, I want to say back in 2016, and it was a good event. I did have a couple of not my best games there. Uh, I will say I did play Pete.
Oh,
Actually,
you
he
did.
reminded me of this, and when he said it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can picture it, but I wasn't thinking Pete, who has been helping us get here as commentators. I played him back in that U.S. Open, so I had a so-so, but it was a lot of fun. Like it's a pretty unique event in the sense that it's an open. You
Mm-hmm.
have players of all sorts of rating that you will play instead of the usual sort of cut off different sections. And I think sections have their place. You kind of want to play people around your rating most of the time, but it was a fun experience to have that, whereas playing a bit more wide variety of
Mm-hmm.
ratings. So
No, I think it's really nice. It's a really nice tournament, and I think it's nice that there are so many people from different states that you get to meet and play against, and just kind of make various connections. And I also like the fact that there are side events as well,
yeah,
running in the same time as the U.S. Open. And when I say in the same time, I don't mean like the same time frame, but concurrent in a way, or just the U.S. Opens rounds typically start later in the evening, and then earlier in the day around 12 there are various events like the quads, and then there's the um, rapid tournament, US championship under 15 minutes, or US Opens
Yeah,
15-minute tournament. And that is that is a pretty cool event to take part in as well. So if you are around here, you can't play for the entire tournament, you can certainly come and join in for some of the other events. And I think that's a cool thing. This is so long. So
yes, I actually had someone at kind of a late lunch dinner that saw I had a chess position on my phone while I was waiting in line, and then he was talking to me about it, and I was right there trying to, hey, y'all come play in the U.S. Open. I don't think he realized that there was this big tournament, but almost like festival. Like when you talk about some of those other events, it feels a bit more like that. And hey, you're here. You know how to play chess. Come on down. So it is. It's just a great venue, and a great event all around with all the other
of course.
other things going on.
Yeah, of course. And then, of course, what I wanted to add to that is that the reason I keep mentioning every single stream, that if you don't know how to set up a chess club in your area, if you don't know much about chess, but you're liking the game, you think it's really cool and everything, you can certainly get a lot of information on US Chess website. They will take you through the various steps that you can do, and how to set up a membership if you want to, how you can get access to the Chess Life magazine. You can also read a lot of news articles online on Chess Life online, and there's really just a lot of events that are and things that are there. Oh
Oh,
wow.
we have like
We,
a full-on presentation of
oh, thank
cookies.
you, Kaden. That is for you. Kaden got
All the jokes and the eating them while the stream cut out were worth it, guys.
yes.
Behold,
I
we
feel
have
like
a box.
I feel like this is
Oh,
like your birthday, early or late. I don't know when your birthday. When's your birthday?
my birthday's in May, so it's
Oh,
a bit late,
it's a
but
bit late, but you
hey,
got
I'll
it.
take it. I'll
Better
take
later
it.
than never, right? My
We
birthday's coming up actually, so that's in a month. But
Yes, we will have to, if we go on extra breaks this time, that may be why. Uh, okay, so Spiker is saying that the games have
they have
started.
started. We're gonna
So
finish up with reviewing
yes,
the standings in the
I
last
I
two
I do
tournaments.
want to say, because this is the one while we were answering questions we flipped to. This is like the most unique standings of any section. A lot of these other sections, you have one, two people on 4 points, and then maybe a couple people on 3.5. The Irwin, no. You
Yeah,
have Jesse Cry
Jesse.
that tops the standings at 4 points. So if he wins his next game, he has been playing really well.
He has.
He'll
He
at
was a
least
little bit
be.
lucky maybe in the morning. We haven't checked with the engine to see,
It
but
was a messy
it
game.
was an on and off game. But he's, yeah, by 1 point he's leading the tournament,
It
and
is
he plays against
excellent.
Grandmaster John Fedorovich, who we know, the Fed, as friends call him. I think
Yeah.
the Fed or Fed. I don't know. He is he took a draw earlier. We thought it might have been a little bit too soon, but now maybe he's gained some powers and he's gonna bring his A
He's
game.
rested up, ready to go.
Yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting game to look at for sure. Moving on to the last event that we're having in the Invitationals, and that's the Rockefeller tournament, which is a newer tournament that only started being organized 4 years ago, and it is thanks to uh, John D. Rockefeller III. So we're thankful for having so many events that support youngsters and give them the opportunity to win a scholarship for college in later years.
Yes. Uh,
And yes, sorry.
Oh no, I just want to say this one we did have this upset last round.
Yes.
Aiden Liu, who was our top seed, lost to John Abraham. So John now going against the second seed, Andrew Jing, and that's a great victory to be coming from. So this will be a really good. I mean, all of them have really good matchups, but
For sure.
this one will be good. So, I did just quickly want to pop in and show this. This is the team standings. So because this is sort of the state champions for high school and senior and the girls champion and all that, they do have a combined state score. Georgia is currently
Leading with
leading,
Florida,
but tied with Florida.
which
New
is
York
interesting.
right
Which is
behind, and Pennsylvania just a half point behind as well. So this
Yes,
will be a, a race to the finish.
that's for sure. That's something that we'll have to look at, of course. But the moves started showing up, and a lot of people want to see Jesse's game,
We're
and
we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting
I,
there.
we're getting
We are
there.
listening. We are
We are
trying.
following. We're just making sure that we also let everyone know where the tournament situation, where everyone stands, and um, and then of course we're gonna get to the game. So John Fedorovich against Jesse Cry. Only two
Is
moves were made so far. So
John Fedorowicz is stopping to think here.
what to
So
choose? What to choose
I,
against that
I I
F6?
mean it's possible this is already a surprise. I
No, Jesse. I think he plays D5 a lot of times,
Yeah,
but Knight of 6 too.
a little bit.
He plays various things. I have the tendency to believe he might avoid some theory, but I could be wrong. Ever since he's joined the dojo team, and they have like various techniques on how you can improve. I think they've told me about it at some point. I just never got the chance to join and see how they were doing things. But they have their it's him Kostya and
Yes.
Prus,
Yeah,
David Prus.
David Pruitt, yes.
So two international masters and Jesse Cry, grandmaster, who build up this idea on how you can improve based on your rating, and then
Yeah,
they have tournaments, I think, for people of various ratings, and each month or so they tell people what books to read and how to proceed with their improvements. So
yes. We do have, since this is still in the early stages, we have had a requests from Spiker for this game. I'll let you tackle I'll let you tackle the names first.
Anjanea,
Anjanea
Anjanea Sripathi Rao
Shripati Rao.
against Henry Deng.
Yes.
So this is in
The Barber.
Barber, right?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
board 3 of the Barber. Okay, so wait.
And by the way, we never got the answer. Oh, that there was a joke by Normal at Super, which I thought was funny. I'm not sure if that's the answer, but he was like, "What do you call a grandmaster who lost a chess game?" Jesse Cry. I don't, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm
Oh,
sorry. You
cause
got it.
he cries,
Cries because he
yeah,
cried. I don't think
yeah.
he cries though. I think it's just.
He hasn't been crying so far.
I, yeah, yeah. I think you gotta rethink that joke. You gotta rethink it a little bit. You gotta come up with some. I don't know.
Some of these jokes are funny, and I remember Irina Crush,
Crush, yeah.
who was actually talking in an interview that that's not how her name is said, but so many people say it Crush that she just kind of rolls with it,
Uh huh.
and I now always wonder with
So
some of these.
how did she say it
I think
as?
it's supposed to be said Crush
Yeah, that sounds more. Yeah.
more.
I was only caring about Irina or Irina because I call her Irina. And actually, as I was doing like social media for San Luis Chess Club at the Karen's Cup, I asked her, Irina, I really need to know. And she said she loves the way I pronounce her name, so I was very happy. And but she said everyone, she Irina is fine too. And she introduces sometimes she introduces herself as Irina, but I call her Irina. I just always thought that was the name. It's like Russian, like not Russian, but like Ukrainian background. That's anyways. Back to chess.
Back to chess. I mean, we'll maybe prepare ourselves. We'll see if we have to prepare ourselves for more Jesse Cry puns
The
there.
pawns, yeah. If he wins, I feel like it's gonna be even more appropriate if he
Then
wins the
we'll rename
competition.
his opponent to John
Oh my
Cry.
goodness. Let's go to this game. This is really, no, this is a really exciting
Um
game.
yeah, no, this one is still developing. This still feels pretty normal.
Yeah, I think it's still theory,
Yeah,
right?
not
This
anything too crazy so far in this game.
I was suggesting to
What's
go
the
to Arman Shingvi against Jasmine uh Jixin Su. And that tournament that is board
I'm
one
missing it. Where am I?
is
Oh,
the
it's
last
the
one. Is the last one.
because I scrolled up, but
Yeah,
it was
because they
right there.
changed, but this is board three in the barber. I think, right? Yes. Yeah.
Board
Four.
4. Yes.
Board four in the barber, and Jasmine is playing in the barber, not in the herring, which is really nice to see. Tears of happiness. Someone played a6 on move one and we missed it? What? Who played a6 on move?
Hey, Magnus Carlsen, watch out, is inspiring.
Who did that? Hmm. I will check.
Should
I will
check.
check and will let you know as you're going through that position, that
Yeah,
game.
this is a really interesting game. Both players do seem to be in preparation, but it is it's a weird one to me. King
Ghosts.
E2 makes a lot of sense, but I I don't know. I don't know. This looks uh not seeing not any games in the Masters database, Lee Chess database. So this will be one to keep an eye on.
This is quite interesting. I saw the king in e2 and I thought immediately we need to check this position out because it is quite interesting to not to castle. Obviously now the knight is attacked, so king e2 is interesting, but allowing the capture in f3 and doubling the pawns, but maybe the king will be safe in e2 and might be
Yeah.
helpful.
I don't know. I do have to say I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm seeing a lot of people that play knight d5 here. Uh, and the trick, is there a trick? Some sort of queen a4 stuff? This whole opening is
This is a very
this.
interesting setup. What opening was it? I missed that when I was
It was a
Sicilian.
Sicilian with queen takes d4.
Okay, so is it called Checover or something?
Yeah,
Okay, I
interesting.
haven't seen that f5 idea. The Luke believes this was like a board error. I'm not sure if that could be a board error, but like, how else are you gonna? I mean, if you want to keep the knight in a way, it does make some sense. But yeah,
Gus played one
yeah,
a6.
Gus did play one a6, but they transposed to a French. That's why when I was looking at the games, I couldn't figure out which game it was. He played one a6. These guys must have some jokes among themselves. I don't
Wait,
know.
no,
I'm going to interview not you, you two if you want, but I'm going to try to interview some of them and see what is going on with all these interesting moves there. But it did transpose to a French. Um,
yeah, well, Magnus Carlsen, more in the shorter time controls, has been playing a6 quite a bit as of late. Maybe inspiring a few players
that's
to.
not necessarily a good inspiration. But this move order is kind of interesting. Couldn't Black have played Bishop b5 and tried to trade a bishop since he was this move order? Maybe. A6 can be helpful, of course, in this line. And
Yeah,
yes, Tony Miles did beat Karpov, it's true, but it's just one game, guys. And of course, he was inspirational. I tried A6 myself once, I'm not gonna lie. There was this guy when I was playing at UMBC, as one of my teammates. He was being really annoying, and I just didn't want to play the stuff that I knew. And I thought I can beat him because I was higher rated, and I lost. I never talked to that guy after that. He was also quite rude. It's like, oh, I beat you. What did you think you could play a6 against me? And I was like, I wasn't trying to troll or anything. I just wanted
just
out
wanted
of
to get yeah
theory
the
and
theory.
just, yeah.
Yeah, no,
But it wasn't helpful to me.
it's actually funny that he said something like that to you because I remember when I was just playing online.
Hmm.
I was playing. I want to say it was even Bullet, and I lost a couple of just games I didn't feel like I should lose, and so because I was frustrated against this opponent online, I thought, hey, I'm just gonna start playing random nonsense. So I started playing H4, H5, and my opponent, I felt disrespected in 1 minute. So played like 3 moves and said, "Oh, like so you're just gonna pretend like you're not taking me seriously and resign the game." I couldn't
What?
believe it. Like you don't understand. I'm frustrated with myself, and so I'm trying to just mix it up, get something else. It was just online bullet games, so I didn't think the opening really mattered. But
Right. I did that too. I have tried and you know, I've tried H4, H5 and I've seen a lot of grandmasters try that and Grandmaster Elshan Muradiabadi calls that the Lebowski attack because he's a huge fan of, Mr. Lebowski. I don't know if
yeah,
you saw the dude. And he just came up with that. He named it, And I've tried a few times to play it when I'm really frustrated in a bullet game. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
just to relax a bit.
yeah, and just be annoying to the opponents and trying to attack them. And I've won some nice games. I've also lost a few, but
Yeah.
who counts? Who counts the
No,
losses?
no. We count the
Anyways,
wins. The
we count the
losses,
wins.
we
The
forget
losses
about.
you learn from them and then you move on. That's how it works, I think, right? Like,
Yeah. I do think Luke in the chat, I think you do have a good point. Of course, we'll have to keep an eye on this game, but yeah, King E2 is a bit strange since it was played so quickly. You would think being played so quickly, it is some sort of preparation, but it just does look a little bit questionable.
suspicious, yeah,
So
for sure.
I don't know. I do think in these tournaments, particularly when you're playing someone in your age group,
Mm-hmm.
you feel a little bit more competitive. You almost don't want to show like weakness when you first start playing in any game too. But sometimes because of that, if your opponent surprises you, you want to take them out of prep and you want to try and play quickly, and sometimes that does backfire. So
So I thought it was interesting to look at board five in the Denker tournament because there was a Schliemann, and I haven't seen the Schliemann in a really long time. I don't know if someone made it popular on Chessable or somewhere. It's kind of like a reversed Vienna, I would consider, in a
yeah.
way. So it's kind of interesting to see. Do you have any ideas on this? Have you ever played it? What are your thoughts on the Schliemann, Kevin?
No, I
No.
definitely haven't played it. I
Someone played it against me once when I was an E4 player, and
so what is wrong with, because normally in the
yeah,
Vienna you have issues with maybe
no, I think it's
E4,
D5, right?
D5, but D5.
No, no, you can't play D5 because the pawn is hanging. I don't know what is the theory exactly, but I just know that it's playable.
Oh, E4. Black actually has a pretty good win percentage here.
Yeah, I think people don't take. I've seen this becoming more
Interesting.
popular,
Yeah.
so I was just curious.
No, possibly some decent ideas behind it, I guess. It looks weird, but possibly some good ideas. However, I have to imagine. Well, hold on. James did bring this bishop to b5 and then back to
Yeah, but
c4,
he's trying
so
to stop black from castling short, so I think black
yes.
wants to castle long actually. And you have to be careful of, well, earlier you had to be careful not to allow knight d5. Now he stopped it. So,
No, I almost, having lost that tempo, I almost feel like roles feel a little bit reversed in that Levon is playing as if he had the white pieces and James playing as if he had the black pieces a bit. I understand Bishop C4, but I don't like losing that tempo like that.
I agree. It seems like a loss of tempo. Maybe bishop g5 first. Looks like a better idea for white here. I don't know the theory. It
I
just the kind of opening that you don't see. Well, better set defense that you don't see so often. So I was just interested in knowing whether you knew stuff about it. Worth playing, maybe.
No,
Maybe some interesting.
I have on occasion played the Vienna. I'm one of those that I'm gonna say has fallen victim to Levy putting out videos about the Vienna. No, I think it's a decent opening to surprise your opponent with, or just for the occasional game, and that's what it does. As you were saying earlier, feels a bit reminiscent of, but because of that, I don't know. I kind of like Black's position already.
Yeah, I think Black is having a very good position right now.
Yeah, a very clear F file with some play. I like it. I like it. I like this. The pressure on this diagonal, the F file. Um, yes.
Checking out the players' ratings for that tournament. So um, James Nguyen has 2259 and he's from Tennessee, while Levon, he is from Rhode Island and he's 2095. He's had a great game. Unfortunately, he lost in the previous round against International Master Arthur Guo, but he's probably looking to try to get back the win and come back closer to the top in this competition. So certainly, um, he's got the kind of position that is not imbalanced, but like not symmetrical. So
Yeah.
and with plays, he's probably gonna find a way to attack the king side while bringing his king safe, most likely with a long castle. This is gonna be an interesting game to keep an eye on. Feel free to let us know if you have someone that you're following, some interesting games. Let's go to board one in the Denker. Arthur Guo against Max Lu.
Interesting.
That's a
Okay.
very interesting setup. What are your thoughts on that position, Kevin?
Some sideline in the Najdorf with bishop
Oh, I
b5.
just saw the kind of position that I like to play, and if one of my followers on Twitch would be here, they would make a fully like joke about it, because it's the Gurgenidze system, in the Caro-Kann on board. What board is that? Maybe board
Uh,
four.
Ronald
Board four
Burnett.
in the, I think it's board four in the
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
We can go to that game after.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Kind of liking Black's position there, but
it's it's an interesting position to play. I can tell you that. I play that myself with the black
the
pieces. My mom taught me that system, and I remember there was this girl who was winning against me all the time, and I must have been 12, 13, 14. My mom showed me this system with black. I prepared it a little bit, and then I won that game, and that girl almost never won against me ever again. After
very
that, I got so
nice.
much confidence,
Very nice.
and then it kind of became my kind of thing that I like to play at times. I these days I mostly play it online. I don't play it over the board as much, but yeah, I like the system. Against f4, this h5 move usually is helpful because if you get the bishop, you get rid of the light square bishop, then you have a really nice pawn structure and you can break the position with c5 later on, while white is going to struggle to get some play on the king side. But
Yeah, so is the idea generally gonna be like knight h6, bishop f5?
yes, or no, bishop knight h6, bishop g4, and try to give the bishop for the knight. And if they play h3, then knight h6 f5 coming to g3, pretty much. That's what you're trying to do. But of course, white has many different systems against this system. It's a system, I guess.
Yeah,
That's another very interesting
interesting.
defense that I've seen. The game between Brewington Hardaway and Ronan Wilson has caught my eye as
Ooh.
well, because I feel that they must have
Move 16 already.
all theory. Let's check it out. What was this? What kind of Sicilian?
Najdorf,
Najdorf?
maybe?
Yes.
Yes. Bishop
D3.
d3.
I don't know that move. I'm sure it's
This is I forget exactly why, but I remember having this conversation recently with someone
mhm.
that Bishop D3 has started popping up more. I want to say someone released a video or a course on it, or someone played a game. I just
Giri, the if you're talking about the Najdorf, everyone is now
it's
into
probably Geary related.
Giri's Najdorf chessable course. Hopefully, we're getting some. It would be great if we got some sponsorship from them for mentioning their courses this much, but I don't remember this particular line.
Until we do, we have to start saying unnamed super
Yeah,
grandmaster from the
unnamed
Netherlands,
from someone and
from some
this
other country.
website that is blue. Blue website.
Blue website. So
Is this theoretical? I'm
it
assuming it
does
is.
look like,
The both players have played it relatively fast.
yeah, Hardaway has been playing this pretty quickly. Ronan fast, but not as fast. Queen D1. Probably preparing F4. So if black plays,
Pete tweet. I don't know. No more cookies for you. What? What is that? Is that the? I didn't see that. I didn't see that clip. We need to watch these clips. I'm gonna save it so we can watch it later. I don't know what he clipped. He clipped your cookies for sure. It's gonna be a clip. No, this was in the morning.
this is in the
Oh,
morning.
this was in the morning. Okay, we have to check it out, Kaden. In the
Uh,
break, we're gonna check out.
in the break. I don't like a why would I be happy with a clip it
That
says
says
no
no
more
more
cookies for
cookies.
I have a
You
box.
just got them. You can,
I'm
you
very
just got like
excited
five
about the box
sticks
of
or
cookies.
something. I feel like you're not even gonna share it. It's just you put it on your side. It's like
I
these
mean,
are my cookies,
it was
Sabina. Don't
totally
you even?
random that I put it
No,
over here.
I'm
No,
just.
totally random.
Yeah, that's what you're saying now because you're live. But like
Totally
in the
random.
break,
Totally random.
wait for the break. Um. All right. I think Naroditsky played both sides of the Bishop D3 in back-to-back rounds against Gus Houston and Andy Woodward in Charlotte
That may
recently.
have been because I was if it was the most recent, I was actually following those games a little bit, and that may be why I was it's
Familiar with that
somewhere
move,
in
Bishop
my
D6,
brain.
Bishop
Um,
D3.
yeah, it's so because I played the Night Orf quite a bit, and I admittedly never ran into Bishop D3, so it's interesting that it's starting to pop up. Uh, from this, I do like White's position. I don't fully understand all the ideas. I mean, C F4, C Knight F5, but it just it feels pretty good. Like I
For
feel like
White.
White's play is going to be very natural, very fluid here, and Black I may also have some ideas, but you just have to be careful with some quick maybe F4, Queen H5 or Queen G4, where this knight is starting to jump in and attacks, and I think that will be somewhere in the back of Ronan's mind.
I agree with you. I just feel that a move like F5 could be something that would stop some of your ideas a little bit. It does weaken the king a little bit, but I'm thinking at least with that move, if you go. Oh, wait, no, my queen is protected. Okay, I'm good. So if you go
Yeah.
f4, my plan is to go e4. And I
Yeah.
thought I fell for queen h5, knight takes e4, but no, I did not fall for that.
Yes.
Your rook is hanging, and besides, my queen is protected, so all good. So I'll just go king g8, and then, maybe have some ideas, rook f6, h6. I don't know how good this idea is, but
Mm,
I feel that considering that white does not have the light square bishop, it could work.
yeah, it makes some good sense. But what if I play B3 here?
I don't b3. Yeah, that move is a little bit unpleasant because you do want to put the bishop. I don't know what's your c4 maybe bishop b2 those kind
Yeah,
of ideas.
c4,
Yes,
bishop e2, then f4. I'm opening up this diagonal.
I hear you. I hear
And
you.
then when I open up that diagonal, now queen h5, queen g6, and then when I play queen g6, I play queen
Okay,
takes
okay, okay.
g7.
Knight.
If you try to stop me, then I play knight h5,
Well,
and the conclusion would be good things for white.
got it. Got it.
To,
Coach Angel, NYC. Hi there. I know Coach Angel, I think.
yeah, cheering on a
I think he's the
fellow.
coach that found Tani, or was the first coach of Tani, I believe, if I'm not
Ah,
mistaken.
very nice.
Um, it could be, maybe
Could
not,
be.
maybe not. But I think
It's okay.
it's
We'll, we'll,
okay.
we'll, we'll
We'll
give
find out.
Coach Angel
But
some credit
From
right
New York,
now.
so obviously he would be rooting for Brewington. Brewington is from New York. One of them, one of the coaches. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
There are like I think there were two of them. Which is really nice. I understand they're doing a really good job in New York, especially in some of the areas with youth at risk, which is really nice to hear.
Yes.
It's not easy sometimes for for some people to get to make an impact, and it's always nice to see people finding a way to use chess as a way to help
Yeah, absolutely.
spread fun and positivity.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know from some of my own friends growing up that there was a very competitive nature in New
Hmm.
York, but also heard a lot of positive things about some of the programs, and as
Hmm.
you mentioned, some of the school programs or for youth at risk. So, uh, I as I've said before, I think it's one of the fantastic things about chess is that it is something that anybody can do from
Hmm.
any background, any level, and what a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, and I know more about New York because a good friend of mine and someone who's very famous, the first black grandmaster Maurice Ashley.
Maurice.
Maurice
I love
is really
Maurice so
awesome.
much.
I
I
felt
like
so
his.
bad that I don't see him doing commentary anymore. He's focused a lot on content creation. I'm really excited for his new. He's gonna have a. I have inside information. He's gonna have some books being published soon, and he's working on some chessable courses as well. And Maurice often tells this story on how he um kind of learned to play chess in Brooklyn, and just going through different um and some parts of the city are tougher, and he says how at some point someone wanted to support him to become a grandmaster. He was really close but not so close, so they basically supported him to become a grandmaster, but there was this statement that said, if you become a grandmaster, Maurice, after that you have to come back to the school and
Mhm.
teach for I forgot how many years he says it. There's an interview with him saying that by a C Squared podcast, which is another podcast, but it's not by US Chess, but it's by Grandmaster Christian Kirilla and Fabiano Caruana, another podcast that you definitely want to go to. But Maurice says something like, Christian asks him, so you had to do all of that for free? And he's like, no, I actually got paid for it, but it was just so passionate. It was really nice that I was able to give back,
Yeah.
because I know some of the neighborhoods were tough. And yeah, it's always nice to see this. Like New York has this chess scene, and yeah, I think it's really nice.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And Maurice, I mean, as a commentator, a bit of an inspiring
He's very
individual,
energetic.
very energetic, very
But
some of his interviews were absolutely legendary
yeah,
too
for
because
sure.
he was not afraid to
To
ask
ask the questions.
the tough
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
So,
Unfortunately, we won't see him much in that position, as I understand. But it's definitely the YouTubes are there, so everyone who wants to can always go back and check them out. But
yes.
it's got an inspiring story. And yeah, whenever his book is out, you guys should definitely check it out.
Yes, yes. We may need to start implementing some deals here with
Yeah,
how
yeah,
much we
and no, but
recommend.
I know, Brewington is really close to getting that. He's an IM
Yes.
now, right? So I think he's going for the GM title as well, Tani as well. So it will be nice to see the new generation of players and minorities in the US as well having the opportunity to get the titles.
Yeah, and you do see that where often it takes someone like Maurice to lead the way,
Yeah.
to inspire. I mean, you're seeing that a lot with India right now,
Mm-hmm.
where Vishwanathan Anand was the first Indian grandmaster, and now there's just so many young talents. So definitely some
Yeah, yeah.
just amazing people that have been leading the way for their community
Yeah.
and just doing some
It's nice to see
wonderful things.
more of them being inspired, and I think it will be nice to see similar things. Of course, because I'm a woman, I certainly want girls and women
Yes.
to have the opportunities to be more viewed and more supported, but also minorities in the US. That's something else that I think USEF is working on various programs and trying to develop various programs. So if you guys again are from from a minority and you want to ask for more information on how you can get support in developing chess in your community, whether it is you know there are a lot of minorities. I don't want to forget about some, but I think that's something else that you can contact US chess staff, and they will be happy to help you know continue the development of the smaller programs as well.
Yes.
It would
Yeah,
be nice
absolutely.
to see again minorities also having a chance to get big titles in chess.
Yes. So this will be a game we'll have to keep an eye on. Ronan
It's
as
spending a little bit too much time once again, which hopefully at some point Burrington for Ronan, of course, Burrington will spend hopefully some time for Ronan so that they can get similar times. Otherwise, it might be tough at some point to protect the position. Though, if the attack of white will not lead to a checkmate, then probably, um, but probably it's going to be an interesting end game. But you still need to have enough time. Chris Bird, who is the chief arbiter of the Invitationals, doesn't think that we are being too serious, Kaden. I want to see your game on game on face. I can't.
cheers.
Wow. Okay. No more laughter.
No more.
Okay.
When Chris Bird speaks, we listen.
You wow.
Dang it! I already messed up.
You just. But we do listen. You were supposed to be a good thing, but then it kind of you got distracted. I just started smiling and it just yeah. Oh, he's 50 yards away. Oh no. Okay.
Hurry, hurry.
He might come to the room. I think we should be very serious
Very
about
serious.
this commentary, guys. Let us know which games you want us to look at. Tell us who are your favorites to win these tournaments. I mean, Ronan played my move.
Ronan played your
I
move.
hope it's a
Okay.
good move.
Okay, so
I hope it's a good move
I'm hopeful.
for
I'm
his
hopeful
sake.
now. B3, we didn't talk about it too much, but it was at least sitting on the board here while we were talking. And I don't know, I feel pretty good about it, but
Yeah,
I do want to stay just for a second to see
Brington will play B3.
if he'll play quickly. That's my question here. It appears that he has been in his preparation up to this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So with F5, that you were thinking and Ronan was thinking, is this a surprise or is this
He
something
played F4. He
Brewington?
played fast.
He played F4. He played quickly. That was my other move, you know.
That was your move, yeah.
No.
But I don't know. I don't know. So e4 is probably the reason why f5 was played, right? So that's what we suggested here. I'm not sure if we missed some tactics or
No, I thought f4 was a move you're gonna have to play, but I sort of
eventually.
like the idea of bringing the bishop here first. I wonder if there is some concern of allowing black to play f4 and shut down
Ah, and after
a
knight
lot
e4
of the
d5
play.
maybe.
Yes, so maybe it is
But
more
we have knight
important to,
c3. I'm not sure.
yeah, I don't know. F4 definitely one of the moves to be considered, but I will be interested to see what happens. I do, even though Ronan just took a long think, expect maybe another 5 minute or longer think there. So,
I have a bad news for you, Kaden.
uh-oh,
Chris may want to share the cookies with you.
that's okay. Well, I'm willing to share while I'm on stream.
While you're
Oh,
on
I mean,
stream.
I'm willing to share.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. That's very good to know. But Chris can't hear you, so you know, I might.
Oh, okay. So I'll just act real happy while I say you can't have any, Chris Bird. See, but I smiled, so now he
Yeah,
has no
he does.
idea.
He has no idea. Yeah, so this is game two, Oregon. Well, he might be watching an ad now, so he doesn't hear our comments. Because yes, if you want to get rid of the ads, you probably should subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. And as I see on Hikaru's channel, Hikaru has this thing that says all the time like, thanks for taking $5 off of Jeff Bezos's pocket and putting it into mine or something like that. I think that's how he has it set up.
That's a good
on
way
his
of
channel. It's not
looking
bad,
at it. Yeah.
It's like, you can utilize that Amazon Prime for your favorite streamer. If it's US chess, we certainly hope it is. While we're here, you're supporting more streams, so feel free.
See, Chris Bird. I so wish I could lip read.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's
so
just
he cannot.
smiling and saying, as long as you smile, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, smiles.
Just
You just
smile.
start doing things with the hands and just that was for Chris.
Can we arrange for subtitles?
Okay. Anyways, yeah, so if you have an Amazon Prime, we would really appreciate it if you supported US Chess and subscribed. That would be, very nice. But if not, if you think about some area of chess that you want to develop more and you want to make a donation, uschess.org/donation, and you can support the program that you want. If not, just talking about US chess with your friends, with the people you know who might be interested, that will help as well. And of course, social media is always something that we hope you can do at least. If you follow US chess, you will stay notified with the various events that are going to be broadcasted or taking place. So that is a helpful thing you can do as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't need to make a financial contribution, but everyone can help a little bit with in various ways. So.
Yeah, as you were making the point earlier, there is all millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people in the U.S. and you have to imagine a good amount, probably in the millions, of people that know how to play chess. So lots of people out there that could be signing up for USCF membership, playing in these tournaments, joining more in their community, and it's just
and just spread
wonderful.
The word, because by spreading the word, you are actually helping find more people interested in chess and just enjoying a game together. Why keep it for ourselves when we can share it with others?
Yes. Chris Bird, I see the thumbs up. I'm waiting for the come over and get some cookies Chris signed. Look, come on over. We have cookies, Chris. Come on.
No.
Come here. Come here, Chris.
He will show up. Oh,
The door open right
The door opened as you did that, so I guess the cookies must be shared. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh
Oh
no!
no!
Oh
Oh
no! Oh
no!
no!
That's it's okay, Kaden. I'm sure they're enough for you to
It was a
maybe
joke.
your
I didn't
favorite.
actually want to share. No, it's good. It's good.
Well, that one's gone.
It's gone.
It was your favorite one. They don't have
Probably.
it anymore.
No, it's fine. I'll
You will cry.
I'll
I'm just
love you.
kidding.
I'll love you one day.
Yeah, but not now. Not right now.
Sure.
Now you see it. He's right in front of you.
Sure. So, for unrelated reasons, we're gonna go on break. No, no,
Not
no,
yet.
no.
We're here
Share the
for
game
third.
and the cookies. Yes, that is a good attitude to have.
Yes.
Come play chess. We have cookies.
Yeah, so for the tournament, the only thing that we know about the US Open is when we finished off this morning, we raided Penguin GM, who is Andrew Tang. Andrew
Yes.
Tang, right? And he said he was going to play in the 6 day schedule. He's flying in tonight and he's going to play in the 6 day schedule. We know about that Grandmaster. Right now in the US Open, in the traditional schedule, I did not see any Grandmasters. I only saw Jason Liang, who is an international master.
Yeah, I
And
think
a few other
Dmitry
Dmitry Gurevich, you're
yes.
right. Is one of the
But yes, we expect quite a number of
A large-
grandmasters, as we have talked about before. The U.S. Championship with the latest federation switch of Levon Aronian is tough to get into. I mean, it was tough to get into before, but it is just getting tougher and tougher to
Levon.
get on. So the U.S. Open being a qualifier for the U.S. Championship is a rare opportunity. If you want to play in the U.S. Championship, play in the U.S. Open. Fight here. Go for that first place. That is a huge spot. There is a prize fund. And it's a great prize fund. But that almost feels like the bonus with the
U.S. Championship
US
is the
Championship spot
actual
on the line.
big spot, yeah. And there's $50,000 prize fund with 40,000 guaranteed. I think first prize is $8,000 in the U.S.
Hey,
Come on in.
come on in.
Yeah. Well, Kaden made a mistake to offer cookies, and now I think you should take your favorite to make sure you still. Yeah, you might
there's
stay
lots of
without
good
your
options
chocolate
there.
kit. Sure.
We
Just break me up a bit. Is that chocolate?
Just
you can take the whole
Which
thing.
one's your favorite one?
it's
No,
the
you take
chocolate.
the whole- no,
The chocolate is his
Snickerdoodle,
favorite.
chocolate chip are both good.
I'm gonna
Alright.
steal this today.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
All you
it's
have
only
to
half.
do is to
Oh,
win
look,
the U.S.
look.
Championship.
No,
No,
That's
you
right.
sure you did? It's only a little.
Yeah, tell her don't get time to eat.
Our
Who's eating the cookies? The chief arbiter.
He-
He left
he-
the playing hall.
he-
I don't know, Chris. You might be in trouble. I don't know. You might want to go back really fast.
he got the sign. He got the sign.
Don't tell everyone. We won't have enough for Kingdom. He will not be able to complete the entire
I'm
night.
nice for now, guys.
Oh. I don't know. That's
No, this-
Chris is very nice
Yeah,
when he's
Chris-
not the chief TD.
well,
When he
yeah.
he's very strict, and I think that's a good thing
You have to
because
be.
as a TD you really need to make sure tournaments take place in a good standing, like there's no issues. There's a cheating verification as well, just to make sure the tournament really does take place in very good and healthy environments.
Yes, it. I don't know. In my very little experience now with being a tournament director, it makes things a lot easier if you know what you're doing, and you can just accurately say, "No, guys, like this is the way it is. This is the rules. It's not." We play chess. We play games on the board. We're not playing games off the board with these debates about the rules.
Yes.
So the work he does and the continued studying and stuff of the rules helps a lot.
Yes, and no, I mean I know I've known Chris for so many years. now, and he's always, I think he's always really good at doing his job and making sure things are implemented, in in a good way, in a fair way. So yeah.
Yes. Uh, there are no peanut butter cookies. For the question that was earlier about that, there was also a request
Quest
for
for a
this
game,
game.
Shinvi against Jasmine Su. This is a game that we saw earlier, and we mentioned we were really surprised by Kingi 2. People were saying maybe that was a mistake in the DGT, but no, it wasn't, because clearly that king stands on that position and will probably make its way to G1, potentially at some point, or maybe not, because there's no way to open up the center at the moment. I don't like White's position at all.
Yeah.
I don't really like it. I
It's
mean, it's cool to have the king in E2. It's a delayed. How is it called?
the delayed castling or
No, no,
castling
no.
by
The
hand or
move to king E2.
oh, the Bong Cloud.
Bone cloud. It's a delayed
Yes.
bone cloud idea, but I'm not sure it's very wise for this position. If White manages to trade queens, however, then I think the position could be kind of okay, but otherwise,
Yeah,
not so much.
the big word there is if White manages to trade queens, which currently I think is going to be difficult because Jasmine has that light squared bishop that
Mm-hmm.
Armand does not, and that means there's going to
G2,
be some dominance on the light squares. G2 square, if
knight
you do try
h5,
to
knight
bring your king,
f4,
yes, knight h5, knight f4 looks very
or knight
dangerous.
g3 if you move the queen and you're gonna be on the f file restricted. It does not look good for White at all, this position. And who's the highest rated? Who is the highest rated player in this section? I want to know between the two. I think it's Jasmine, but let's see. Yeah, Jasmine is
Oregon.
2180 and her opponent is 1934.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of difference there, but yeah. Oh, I feel like we started a fight. See, Kaden, I told you shouldn't tell Chris to come get the
Uh,
cookies.
uh,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's your fault if something happens to Chris.
I'm washing my hands of this. I'm washing the cookie crumbles off. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh no.
Uh, yeah, maybe Armand was given a dare. Oregon Big Red. I got better at chess to about 1650 USCF, then just got stuck and sort of gave up. Any advice? Uh, that's 1650. It's hard. I do think there are probably some specific things for you around that level because the next jump 1800 2000 is it can be a pretty tough one. But I do think when you're around there, we've said this a few times, we'll continue to say it. Tactics. I know it is a cliche thing sometimes, you just hear it time and time again, but if you are at that 1650 level, you should be spending probably at least an hour a day working on your calculations, solving puzzles, really trying to get better at that because in all reality, a lot of your games are going to be decided by little tactic or calculation moments, and being a bit more sound on that will go a long way. The other big suggestion I would give is on openings, find an opening that you isn't as much like the most sound, just most amazing theoretical opening, but find an opening that fits well with you, that you feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable playing, that you feel comfortable with the plans. Uh, of all the openings I play, the Grunfeld as black is the one that I will honestly and forever say I just fits well with my style. I started playing it when I had not the best theoretical knowledge, but it still went pretty well just because I liked it and it felt comfortable for me. So when you are at that 1600 level, instead of getting so caught up in the supposed theoretically best openings, I think you want to find an opening you feel happy with, you feel comfortable with, and can play without too much stress.
No, I totally agree with you, Kaden. And what I think is also very, very important for everyone to understand, and it's really lovely that chess has developed so much online, is the fact that you can go on various websites, and I'm not going to name some just not to make, um, say that I support some more than others, but the various websites out there have tactics by themes, which is really great. So you can kind of figure out in your games where your mistakes are coming from, and then using that, just write them down, figure out which ones you happen to make more, and just every week try to select a theme and do as many puzzles in that theme as possible. That way, you're going to improve your pattern recognition with specific themes. And something else, as Caden mentioned, he loves the Grunfeld. So, something very good that you can do if you love an opening, you haven't played it before, but you feel that it would fit your style. What you can do is, again, on some of these websites out there that I'm not going to name, go on them and pick up, um, select doing tactics based on openings. There are some
Yes.
like that. That way, you're going to see the various tactical ideas present in that specific opening, and you will be able to just become familiar with them. So you'll hopefully not fall into those traps. It's very, very important.
Yeah. I did. Someone did ask, what is the best website for tactics? And honestly, again, not to pick sides here. So I'm not gonna name one, but the websites, just about any website nowadays, the big chess websites have some really good systems for puzzles. The only thing I would encourage anybody to do is make sure in whatever situation you are doing puzzles that you're doing it where you can take time. The themes is an excellent piece of advice, but additionally to that, a lot of people just try to rush through their tactics. They try to guess at the answer, play what they
Yeah.
feel should be the right answer, and it's not the right way. You really want to push yourself to spend a lot of time, find the right answer.
I totally agree with you, Kaden. And I think a lot of people, because they do themed ones, they have the tendency, as you say, to just rush through them because they know what the theme is. That's not the point of doing themed ones, in my opinion. I always suggest my students to take the time to understand what's happening in the position and really see how the pieces are set up, because that's really what's going to help your pattern recognition. Just doing them like that automatically and just be like, oh, that's the theme, it must be this move, without actually calculating through, is not going to work later. It's not going to be easily applied into games. That's why if you understand the setups, the pawn structures, and look how the pieces are placed, that's how you really kind of get through understanding the position. And yeah, as Caden said, make sure you walk through those lines and kind of get into it more in depth. Caden did repeat, like it just started at the beginning to show you that game casual player. So we're gonna try to do that usually, of course. Once the games have been going on for a little bit of time, we will not maybe show the opening right immediately because sometimes there are 20 games that are currently live from the invitationals, and so we might not have time to discuss everything, especially if there's an interesting position. And yes, we have seen this game started with a6, but it transposed into a fringe. I don't think there's any blunder that was done yet. I
No,
do feel
not
comfortable with White's position here.
not
I'll
too
open
many
the door.
updates. Aiden was just saying that this was all work, all study.
So
I could see it. There was a request for a Liang game,
yeah,
but
but I don't know which
I
one.
didn't think we had a Liang playing either. If we do, I am spacing it. Not my eyes are not eyeing it. Don't love that.
No, I
I'm
think they're talking about. I think they're talking about the Rockefeller event, but he did lose his game. I think they're talking about, maybe not Aiden Liu. No,
no.
there's no
Um
Liang game that is live right now.
yeah, so I did I'm since well, hopefully we get some clarification in chat or correction on our part. I did just want to pull up this game because in the Irwin, this game is a big deal. Jesse Cry, the only player not only on 4 points because he is on 4 points, but on 4 points with nobody tied or a half point below him. He
Yeah.
has a clear full point lead. And when we last saw, I have to go back and look because when we last saw it, it was on 2 moves, and John Fedorowicz was thinking he spent about 8 minutes to play c4.
Oh, I think they're talking now. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think they're talking about Jason Liang's game, but Jason Liang is playing in the traditional. And
Ah,
those games are
yes,
not live at the moment. We only have as live games the games from from the invitationals, the Rockefeller, the Barber, the Denker, the Irwin, and the Herring tournaments. Those are um, the only games that are live at the moment. As all the events will merge on Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, that is when we will have all the boards, the 20 boards, I believe. It will remain 20 live from the US Open, and that's when you can see those games. Otherwise, those
yes,
games are not broadcasted live at the moment.
yes, yes. Uh, in this game, and maybe this should be the last game we look at before
Yes.
going to our first break. I kind of liking Jesse's position. I say with hesitation. The isolated pawn is what gives me the hesitation, but the bishop on a6 putting pressure on e2, that knight on e4 ready to jump into c3, and somewhere bishop f6 fighting for that diagonal. Feels like the activity is on Jesse's side currently. So he still has to be careful because a couple of pieces get traded. That pawn on d5 is going to be a blaring weakness.
I
But
agree.
I do lean towards Jesse's position right now.
Yes, I see your point. I do like the way black has a little bit more space. That pawn hasn't been capped. The pawn hasn't been captured back, but white's bishops are really nicely placed, looking at the center from each side, both being fianchettoed. And I have the feeling that after getting the pawn back, if white could be the one playing for win, but it is really quite balanced at the moment. I don't see any tactical ideas. We'll have to wait and see how this game will pan out. And Jesse did win a very, I could say, topsy turvy game, maybe a little bit in the morning.
Look, look,
In the
it's
morning.
it's one of those games where you're like, it looked really topsy turvy, and then the computer's like, I don't know.
To us, without
But
using the engine, that's how it looked. To me, at least, that's how it looked.
yeah, no, when we they just agreed to a
Oh,
draw.
well, that didn't help. And with that said, we're gonna go in small.
No one cares about this game anymore. It's a draw. No. A
No.
good result for Jesse. I think a very fair result. It does. The computer is showing now that the game is finished. This is a slightly better position for Jesse. So he got neutralized John Fedorowicz's play in the opening. But John Fedorowicz came into this game feeling maybe a bit fresher. Jesse had a long fight, a topsy-turvy game. So
In the
Jesse having
morning.
that full point lead
It's
takes
gonna
the
be really great going into the final round because, like, now maybe he will be caught up, but I think he'll have good tie breaks, and he might get the chance to um, just win the competition with potentially just a draw
right,
tomorrow. So
right.
that remains to be seen, but he is pretty good right now. Can take a little bit of break and have a good night's sleep, hopefully for him, and then get a good game tomorrow morning,
Yes,
10 a.m.
and
10 a.m. is the round tomorrow morning, and we will be here for it. But until then, we're gonna leave you for just a little bit of a short break as Caden gets to enjoy his his cookie
before I
and
share too many of them.
before he shares, yeah, before all of them are gone. But we're looking forward to seeing you after the break. Stay close.
Chess Dogs, by all means, started out as a crazy idea. one that many people would only talk about. We've taken that crazy idea and turned it into a chess center. We have merchandise, tournaments, streaming, everything a chess player could want. So, whether you're a beginner or an expert player, go to our website, chessdogs.com, or join a stream at youtube.com/chessdogs.
Welcome back, everyone, with round 5 of the Invitationals. Before going into break, we saw the leader of the Irvine tournament, Grandmaster Jesse Cry, draw his game against Grandmaster John Fedorovich, or the Fed, as his friends call him, to kind of secure a little bit his position into the lead going into the last round.
Yes.
Most likely with half a point ahead of the field and being in a position that he can most likely win the tournament. So it's going to be an exciting last round for Jesse. And
And we also had another early draw. This one in the opposite side from oldest to youngest in the Rockefeller. Board 2 of the Rockefeller has already drawn their game, which is it's an interesting decision because VJ in this one was already a half point behind the leaders, so maybe thinking take the quick draw, rest up, go into the last round, hopefully with the white pieces ready to fight. I mean, looking at this position, I kind of understand it. It's a pretty dry position.
yeah, so this was board
Two of the
board 2
Rockefeller.
of the Rockefeller, yeah. So that is okay. I think the result is okay going into the last round. The position will be quite symmetrical, so maybe the players even knew each other. We're not sure about that, but let's just look into the top board in the Denker. I think that is a very interesting position that happened between International Masters Arthur Guo and Max Lu.
Yes, and this one was it was this knight orb, this sideline with bishop b5, and I mean when it comes to the knight orb, this is admittedly a not as exciting variation because the knight orb can lead into some very crazy ones, but in this case a bit more of a calm position.
Which side would you take here, Kaden? Would you take white or black? White does have, of course, an extra pawn, but has the knight versus the bishop. And um, what are your thoughts since you are playing the knight of yourself? Is I'm letting you to think about that a little bit more. I'm going to answer the casual player his question. What is the correct etiquette to offer a draw to your opponent for an over the board game? So basically, you just make your move, whatever move it is that you're going to make, press the clock, of course, and just say, I offer a draw, or just say draw, or simply show the sign, which means, draw. I haven't seen people do that anymore. When I was a kid, that was a thing that they were doing, but these days you just offer a draw or draw. And yeah, definitely do not do what a lot of kids are taught to do these days in the US. Just during their turn, they just put their hand out and they're like, draw. And you're like, are you resigning? What is going on? Even in Searching for Bobby Fischer, they actually had that happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Josh, the main character, Josh Waitskin's character, does that in the final round of that tournament, and his opponent doesn't know. He doesn't even say out for a draw at first. He just puts his hand out, and his opponent like what? Well,
Yes.
you are losing. Look at the board. As the kid says, look at the board, and those things you don't talk about during a chess game. You don't tell your opponent like, you know, if you don't want to accept it, you can say no. You can not answer. Some people don't answer. I find that a little bit offensive not to answer, but I think I've done it myself once or twice. I just when someone offered me draw repetitively, I think you're not allowed to offer more than 3 times during a chess game a draw. There can be penalties actually because it's affecting your opponent, and you should definitely not do things that affect your opponent during games purposefully. At least you might do that without knowing, but not purposefully.
Yeah, no, it is should be a very simple. You make your move, you offer a draw, you say I offer a draw. People that use draw offers to try and trick their opponent or psych their opponent out, I am not a fan of. But I do like the comment in chat, just don't offer a draw. what
I
I would
love
do.
that.
Yeah, fighting chess. You should. I mean, I don't want to jump too much on the fighting chess bandwagon because we have some earlier draws, and I do understand why with an earlier round tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
players would agree to an earlier draw. I have myself had on occasion draws that I agreed to quite early,
I
so
see.
I do understand it. But I do love the attitude of fighting chess. And I will credit Magnus Carlsen. I think is sort of a great one for that and fighting, not just being so quick to take draws. There was this very famous example where I believe he was playing Levon Aronian, and Levon Aronian offered him a draw, which would have guaranteed first place to Magnus, but Magnus declined it and went on to win the game. So, uh, Magnus Carlsen's pretty good. Maybe
Yeah. Maybe we should listen to
we
him.
should
Some
listen to
things,
him.
some things maybe not, but no, I'm also definitely all for fighting chess, and typically I do not really offer draws. Um, I try to play, and um, I feel that it's nice though to have the opportunity to offer a draw if you want to, but I've seen a lot of players kind of take advantage of that, and if they feel tired, they just offer a draw earlier. That is the reason why these days there's this new rule that FIDE implements in a lot of their official tournaments, and the US Championships, that's a rule as well. You cannot offer a draw at all at any time. There used to be a 30 move rule. You couldn't offer a draw the first 30 moves, but now you can never offer a draw unless it's a threefold repetition, which in a way I think it's a little bit restrictive because you should have that option. But I like the idea of playing, and especially towards the end, players keep fighting
Yes.
for a win, and you tend to see a little bit more mistakes. So it can be considered, both ways.
Yes. So,
But this position,
yeah.
which side would you take? Would you take black since you're playing the
I,
knight?
I do lean towards black.
Mhm.
White, one consolation is that he has the extra pawn currently, but I just feel like it's easier for black to play. You have the pressure on the c4 pawn right now. You're threatening to take. You have the open d file that you are controlling. And this bishop can play a bit of an attacker, a bit of a defender. I like Black's position. I now with that said, I have to imagine this should be around equal. And I sort of expect this position to end up a draw, but I just feel like it is more comfortable to play this position with the black pieces.
Okay. I will trust you on it. I will trust you. I usually like positions with the knights, but I'm not a huge fan of the pawn structure. And I feel that there could be some issues. I would take white if I were to play. I would take white here, probably. But
Yes, yes.
I don't want to go against you in this one since
No,
I don't have that much knowledge
you're good.
in knight or fen themes.
Your move.
My move. My move is to
no.
pick white. I've seen these types of positions, but they're typically queens on the board. So, I have the feeling that if black starts pushing those pawns, they have to be careful because any f6 weakens e6, and then if white places their knight in d4 and you go e5, then that knight will jump back to d5, which is a nice outpost. So it really depends, I think, on how well you're familiar with the positions
Yeah.
and the plans here. And it seems that both players are taking a little bit their time. That's a very interesting choice actually by Arthur, trying to keep that pawn on the board as much as possible. So now you have to protect b7 in order to be able to capture the c5 pawn.
I actually quite like this because he may be setting up a little bit of a trap. Rook d to d7 feels like the natural response to this move. Add an extra defender of this pawn to prepare rook takes c5. But now white has this c6 move, giving back the pawn on his terms. If you take rook takes c6, knight e5, thank you for the exchange. And if you take b takes c6, this pawn structure that completely changes everything because now Arthur would be the one quickly attacking this bishop.
Yeah, rook d. I
Looks
when
pretty
I
bad.
mentioned defending b7, I was more thinking like a move like rook to b8,
Yeah, rook to b8 does look better.
and you are staying pinned for a moment, but the next move seems that you will be able to capture that pawn, and then black may want to consider playing b5 to kind of stabilize that weakness in c3, and then it's black who's going to put pressure. So it's really a position where you need to spend a little bit more time and understand the plans, and that's why I like to. Yeah, rook b8 was just played by Max.
Yeah. Not falling for any sort of c6 trick.
No, I don't think there's a c6 trick right now.
Well, no, there's no c6 trick, but is there any other? Because if Max gets to pick up this pawn, then he's
I mean,
just for
there's this
choice,
knight
right?
g5 idea that can be something to consider for sure. Um,
I was thinking, I don't see any follow up.
yeah, there's no follow-up.
Hmm.
Maybe c4 rook b3.
Ooh,
He's done that kind of idea in the
Simil-
past, so
having
maybe.
flashbacks. Yes.
So when you take rook b3, and if you go bishop to c6, how about some knight d4 maybe? Could knight d4 work here? Oh, but no, you take with tempo to my rook. That's the
Yes.
tempo to my rook is what I almost forgot. I was gonna play f3 next.
Hmm. Yeah, I like this Luft idea bringing the rook to b3, but I'm feeling good about my choice and my
Yeah.
black at the same time. I like the idea, but I do continue to lean towards black here. Maybe you
Yeah,
could
we can go knight
go a
d2 and
little
f3, bring the king,
play
play slow.
slowly.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the least you don't get b5, which I think would be unpleasant for white in this position. This way, as I say, rook in c5 is somewhat restricted, and well, but rook d8 could be a thing, and
I think it's definitely playable.
is there any other way that we could try to avoid allowing bishop to c6? I don't want to allow that bishop going to c6. I feel unhappy about allowing that choice, but I'm not sure if there's some.
No, because I feel like you either have to allow b5 or you have to allow bishop c6. Seems like stopping both is not gonna happen. Maybe for now we should jump to another game and come back to this one in a few
Yes.
in a bit.
There was another game that I wanted to look at, and I believe that was the game between Hirsch Singh and Evan Park. Hirsch did manage to draw his previous round against the top seed. I'm trying to find the name of the top seed. I totally. Was it against Jason Wang? Yes, he drew against Jason Wang. Jason had a tough start in this tournament, for sure.
Yeah, Jason, I think has faced the tough position that a lot of us face, where you play people that are happy with a draw, and being able to navigate it. It can sometimes be a challenge, and you do just have tournaments where you just can't quite find those breakthroughs. You can't quite break down your opponent's defenses, and you end up drawing a few games. Still playing well, so he's not losing, but not quite able to get those victories. So it was a great game by Hirsch. Held on very well. And here, I like Hirsch's position. Wait. Yeah, material is even,
Yes.
but
But
this
this knight
bishop,
is much better than the bishop.
yes, which feels like the next step is try and figure out maybe a better place for this knight. I really
Yeah, yeah, same. RC5. But maybe queen to d6 is a nice move here for white, moving the rook over to a2. And
no, it was played. Queen d6 is on the
that is a
board.
nice move. That is a nice move for white.
Bishop e8. Bishop e8. I mean, you have to play it, but bishop e8. Oh, that is just not a fantastic
It's
bishop.
not. It's not. Rook a2 is a move that I'm thinking about, but the problem with that move and in general with white's position is the f2 pawn. If white finds a way to keep that pawn safe, then of course it can get activity. But you know that bishop is bad, but it does keep black's position somewhat safe.
I'm,
You
yes,
wanna go?
I'm partially wondering about this idea, h3,
Mm-hmm.
and then knight f1, knight h2. If you play h5, f4, and if you
And
take,
capture with the
knight
knight.
takes.
Interesting. I love that idea.
Because yeah, this f2 pawn's a weakness, and as long as that f2 pawn is a weakness, this knight is almost trapped. You cannot go knight e2, you cannot go knight f1, knight d2.
Yeah, and knight h1, I know a casual player is suggesting it in the chat, but that is not a move you want to play. That's your last resort if you really don't have other ways. Because the problem is, even if you activate your rook, if you get it on 7th rank, you still do not really have threats. You need the knight to come into play to help out the rook and the queen to work together, and at this point, it doesn't seem like that is an option.
Well, maybe not knight h1, but knight h1 did lead me to this thought. What if we were to play okay, start with h3. Let's say black continues to waste time. Rook a2, king g8, king h2. I'm just wondering if at some point we can actually sacrifice this f2 pawn because the king is surprisingly safe on h2.
Yeah, just rook a2, but you still don't have threat. Or maybe rook a7. No, rook a7, rook e7 could be an alternative, like an interesting idea.
Take.
No, now we take the pawn, right?
Yes. And take.
Okay, queen e7.
And I
Have to go there and rook a8.
Rook a8.
Bishop f7 is a move.
Bishop f7 is a move. It's quite a
It
good
is.
move.
It is a
Now
move.
that you mention it, I quite like that move. Man, why don't you play for me more often?
I play with both colors, you know, and because we mentioned Searching for Bobby Fischer as a movie, I know it says that Fischer was playing for both colors, and he ends up being winning. I can't quote that. I don't remember exactly how the quote is, but that is how Bobby Fischer was training himself to get better. I was gonna take the bishop and knight h5, but it doesn't lead to anything. So rook a8 is not. Oh, but it's equal material. But you have the bad bishop.
Yeah, I was wondering. This is
This
way
is
far.
wild.
So
This is way
maybe
beyond.
another idea. And what got me thinking about this was the knight h1 idea to say, play knight h1, and maybe it's even worth it where you actually do, if black continues to waste time, still do play knight h1. Okay, we don't love the knight there, but we bring the rook up and we just wait for the perfect opportunity to then play knight g3 and sacrifice this pawn. And it is an option.
Maybe that's an option, yeah. I mean, I feel that black can try to trade something, of course, but
h5 was played.
So he's trying to restrict white's knight somewhere. We do have requests for Nicolas de la Colina versus Gus Houston later, so we can certainly look at that game too. Still theory, what? Oh, in that game, they mean maybe in that game. So we'll certainly check that game out
Yes,
in a moment.
I am liking the move King H2. This is a potential downside of why Knight H1 doesn't work. If this knight were to go to H1, it is very trapped with this pawn on H4. But you could play King H2, try and provoke H4, and then say, just kidding, Knight F1, King G1, back, Knight H2, Knight G4 would be quite a nice knight maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to come back to this game, but
We will.
definitely looking good for Hirsch.
So let's go to to Nicolas de la Colina versus Gus Houston. That is certainly a very interesting position. I'm trying to check out some of the other positions still going on at the moment.
This is this is a unique position.
And there's another unique position, a very interesting position that I want us to go to after that game.
I don't know.
They are saying this is still theory? I don't know. I don't know that this is still theory.
Not that I don't trust you, but I would like to see proof.
I don't know.
No,
I don't think this is still theory.
Doesn't look like there have been any games played here. From the time spending, doesn't look like either side is in preparation if it is some sort of theory. But
I like white.
well, of course, I'm gonna then take
Black.
no. I don't know. I don't know. Where's the attack plan for either side?
Well, black might try to push those central pawns forward in a way. There's a joke that every position is still theory. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we're really bad with jokes. Me, at least. I feel like black's nearly winning either king f7 or g5 against queen d3 and knight d7. What do you mean nearly winning? There's no... Okay, you want to come on the h file, but I can always capture with the f pawn, you know? And yeah, I like knight d2, knight f1. Make sure that side of the board is covered. We also have c4 breaks.
E5 now?
So what? Knight. I'm sorry.
No.
Just
I'm
knight f1. Okay. Knight f1.
Knight f1.
You have bishop g4. Oh, there. Okay. That makes me feel better. Temporarily.
Knight d4.
I thought it's cute. Knight taken.
I will use your pawn to defend.
I know, but like you will end up staying with your bishop.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll take this position. I think this position is fine for white, hopefully. I mean,
maybe...
fine. I don't mean advantage. It just seems quite,
Yeah, maybe
both
bishop g4.
sides.
But this knight d2, while it feels natural, I feel like e5 is sort of the big move for Gus to think about.
Of course, no,
because that d5 pawn isn't being attacked, and if this queen does once again open up, it's really annoying for black to try and protect this pawn to open up this e5 opportunity. So this feels like the crucial move for Gus to think about.
Casual players suggesting after e5, knight b3, which is also a nice idea to bring the knight to c5, and I agree with that. It does look quite nice. If e5, h4, and the pawn seems weak, h4 is not a move that I am planning to do anytime soon. So there's this rule that, of course, sometimes is broken, but you usually try to avoid making pawn pushes on the side of the board where your opponent might attack you, because that's weakening your position. And in case you struggle with pawn pushes, you happen to make a lot of pawn pushes, I highly recommend checking out Sam Shankland's books on that, Small Steps to Giant Improvement. Great books, especially if you're below 2000 rating, maybe could work even below 2200. I think those books are kind of helpful for that. And, I think I've talked about Sam's book so much. I feel like I should get some money from him.
Yeah, we
Um,
need to talk to Niche and Sam
Shanklin, just
Shanklin.
like everyone. It would be great if everyone would consider supporting US Chess more, but no, but Sam is a former US champion, he's a top player in the country, and is really good at explaining things. As a lot of courses.
Yes.
And I love his explanations. Like, he's really spending in a lot of time and for his courses, for example. So I try to learn from that because I have the tendency to push pawns forward. And yeah, like, you should be mindful of how you push them, just to make sure you're not creating hooks that help your opponent. So maybe the engine says that move is perfectly fine, and I won't take it back. I will still not take it back what I just said, but I just really worry about, pushing pawns like that when there's a potential attack on my king. I'm trying to find another game for us, Caden,
Yeah,
to take a look at.
glanced one, this John Abraham.
Yeah, that's
Andrew.
the one that I was going to suggest for us to go at. That's in the
So this is
elementary
it's the
championship.
top board of
The top
the
board.
Rockefeller.
And black has gotten the queen in h1, but white made a king march. It's one of the positions when you do a king march. Very few games have had that.
Yeah, I know you said, and this does tend to be the case, that when we get into these later stages, we don't go
Through the entire game.
through the entire game. But
Yeah,
I need
we're
to see it.
going we're going kind
I-
of fast through it because it would spend a lot of time. You can spend a whole stream just talking about one game. I could do that. So we're trying to kind of see if we can, just by looking at the game, pick up some blunder moments, some exciting moments, and kind of discuss those. And of course, we try to be as close to the live game as possible, because other things happen in the past and we don't have the wow moment anymore. It's just like,
Yeah. This was a very interesting exchange of moves. Here Andrew played bishop c3 check, king e2, went back bishop e5, king d2, rook a8, king c2. It feels a little bit like both sides here are not sure how to break through, or at least still working on ideas to break through.
well, white doesn't really have ways to break through anymore.
Can,
That's for sure.
can
Only if you sacrifice something. Yeah, that's. I think black is the only one playing for advantage in this position, Caden. I think that first of all, it takes too many moves, and then e3 and g3 are really weak, and black has more space. So because I love Capablanca, I'm gonna tell you that this position evaluation of this should be really in black's favor. I don't know how much. No, why? I don't want to give up my knight.
No. So what do you do now?
King c1. Actually, I could have even taken. You just scare me. You just scare me.
I
No,
thought
e4.
and then take, and my rook opens up.
Okay, so I move my queen. Okay, do that. I take it. I take it. I do not trust you. You have queen f7. If you're gonna say queen f7, then I would believe you. But e4. If you do that.
Oh, there is a comment in Lee Chess that board 1 is actually the Nicholas Gus game.
What?
And not the Arthur Guo Max game.
So wait, so Max played a6. Well, that I would expect. If Max played a6, I would expect. Max has played a3, b3. Come on.
But we don't.
Grandmaster. No, where's Chris Bird? Where's Chris Bird when we need him? He's not here.
Oh, you wouldn't.
Hi, Elshan. How are you doing? Grandmaster Elshan Muradiabad is in the chat.
Welcome. Welcome.
That was that
Sorry,
was
I was gonna say something else, and then I'm like, wait,
I'm sorry.
I should say something. I should oh, I like Elshan. We played way back when, and I don't think it went well for me if I'm remembering correctly. And that's how
Um,
you explain that.
okay, that's why you were kind of cold in your welcoming. No, I'm just kidding. But e4.
It's hard for
No,
me,
but why do
guys.
you
I'm
go?
a chess player.
Why don't you go queen f7? I mean, you should listen to me sometimes.
Okay.
No, I'm just no. In that line, don't you think queen f7 was an interesting idea?
Here?
No. In your line, but instead of f4, I think f4 might be rushing. So when I take the pawn, can you go queen f7? Because I think there's this cool idea that if king c4, right, because that's your only way to protect the pawn. Yeah, I was thinking c6. And then when you capture, I was thinking b5. Look at that.
I
That's
like
a
it.
gorgeous king march, right? Takes. I thought it was a nice line to show. Of course, you can go back to d3, but I feel that now black is actually getting what he wanted to get, and so
Yes. So what you're saying is you agree with my knight d3 move.
I agree. I agree that I cannot take in d3. I'm gonna
Well,
go king
but no,
c1.
you play king
But I
c1
saw
now.
that idea, and I
Now
thought,
queen f7 works just as well.
yeah, I guess it might work now.
Uh,
Now that I told you the idea, you're gonna use it against me. Why did I even do that? No, but I think it's kind of cool. Black is the one. You're right. The knight d3. I wasn't thinking about it because I felt the knight is much better than the bishop. The bishop in c4 just looks like a pawn.
I do agree, but here, breaking through is more valuable than because this. I don't know. I always look at it as beautiful pieces are nice, but I want attacking pieces.
No, I
I want
agree.
breakthroughs, and so given the opportunity to try and break through, I'm more inclined to do that than
No, I agree. I was thinking of ideas of going somehow switching the position between my bishop and my queen. So I wasn't quite sure why queen there was played. Maybe there was a threat, but kind of, oh no, actually maybe bishop h8, queen g7 is an idea for black and kind of
mm,
taking advantage of the diagonal. That was my thought. That's why.
yeah, I
Rook e8, I'm not sure what that move does unless Andrew is thinking king f7, march on the other side of the board.
I feel like right now the biggest thing for Andrew to do, because Andrew does have the advantage, I mean, it feels like probably even has a winning position,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but he also has an hour, almost an hour and a half still. He has so much time. When you have a good position close to winning, I don't think you need to rush your opponent. Take the time, find your winning plan, and that use a winning plan to kind of scare your opponent, get them spending the rest of their clock. And here Andrew doing well. Yeah, has the better position, is the one pushing for the win. But I think it would be a good moment, good opportunity for him to sit down, really decide between the bishop a8s and queen g7s and the knight d3s and the f4s
Mm-hmm.
and find that breakthrough. Now, as I say that, his idea with rook e8 may actually be some sort of f4 at some point, now supporting the e3 pawn push, potentially.
Mm-hmm. And I believe, so Andrew, I think, is 11 years old. He might be very young and thinking he has a lot of space here and not rushing. Also, because he has so much time, I have the feeling that he might think of utilizing, like playing faster so that his opponent keeps spending the time. And then he thinks he might win based on that his opponent is more prone to making mistakes. And that's sometimes a mistake. To do that, I think, because um,
Yeah,
you really should utilize that time. That's why you have it. That's a strength that you have as well. So, anyways.
yeah, and I don't know. I always think about it, from my own perspective, playing against a position like this. Obviously, it's tough to play when your opponent's playing really quickly and can be intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
But the worst thing to see is those good moves from my opponent, for them to find a good plan. That is what I dread a lot more than them playing quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I lean towards that, because I know I hate to face that. personally. So this will be a game to come back to. I do want.
I wanted to make a point because I just realized that I think this is the age of the players. And in the herring, the player who has 4 out of 4 is from Georgia. Her name is Jwalanthi Ram, and she's 11.
Yes,
She's 11 years old.
yes.
And she's playing against the highest rated player. And how do we assess this position, Kaden?
Uh,
I'm just
Knight
letting you do the
d5.
the tough
Okay,
the
okay.
tough job here. I think
I,
it's quite exciting to see, an 11-year-old playing in this tournament, and doing so well. And there are a lot of other exciting games. So many
yes,
exciting games this round. The more we approach the end of the tournament, the more exciting games, as we mentioned to you, that is what we expect, because the players are indeed looking to take over the event, win their scholarships, and anyways.
yes. I think I have to take Ruyang here. I'm more I look at it, I'm liking this H5 move, trying to activate this rook even more, and it does just feel like Yang has the pressure in the center here, and Ram is defending.
Yes. What about h3? You
H3,
take, I take back, rook
take,
g5.
take.
Okay, let me try for some fancy ideas. So I'll go rook h1.
Suspicious, but
Your move was suspicious. Your move. Yeah, yes, go 95. Play that out. Play it out. It's really nice idea. Let's show the chat, because it's a really nice mate. Not, I know you wouldn't play that. Just show, because don't you think it's a
okay,
nice?
okay. Yeah, no,
Just show them the capture of the pawn, and look at the beautiful mate. I was planning.
very, very nice. I actually I've played a lot of Blitz games, so not all of them stay with me, but I do remember one Blitz game and where my opponent had the two rooks here. My king was on g8, very similar. I had fianchettoed earlier, and my opponent, like, I was taking some stuff over on the queen side. My opponent had taken on g7, so it's just this back and forth big attack. And I thought, it's fine. My king will escape. If you check me, I get to run through f6. If you move the bishop, I get to play f6. And then my opponent surprised me by playing bishop f6, saying, hey, if you take, your escape square is gone. If you don't take, then rook h8 is just going to be checkmate. I was losing. So that has stayed with me. This checkmate idea, very dangerous and something to watch out for.
For black, for sure. That's why, like, as soon as you said h5, I was thinking of those ideas, because the knight in d5 is kind of an unpleasant piece to deal with. I was mostly thinking about an f5 as a break more than h5, just to kind of, I don't know, try to get a little bit closer to the center, but
Yeah, I like f5, particularly if this rook leaves. H5 was
well,
played.
the rook cannot really.
Yeah, oh, the rook can't leave now.
Yeah,
I'm thinking maybe after h3, don't take, play rook g5
that makes more sense.
first.
But we can, and after rook h1, go 95. Okay,
Yes,
that is more unpleasant to deal with, for sure.
because if you take, this is definitely looking
Yes.
pretty good for black. So just really encourage that capture, and no, some tricks to be careful of. I do like this h5 move.
Yeah, I think that that is a nice move for black for sure. But not with taking in g4 though. So this way I like putting more pressure.
Yeah.
I like the idea of putting more pressure first.
Yeah, it's no need to rush. That's a mistake we all make sometimes.
We're so tempted.
Things can be captured, so let's capture them. But in all reality, no.
Well, we're analyzing, so you know we can't just stay and think as much as the players do think. So obviously we're more prone to making mistakes and play by hand, and sometimes the hand is faster than the brain, and you just
Yes.
you know
A
you
very good
you
way
just,
of putting it.
I mean, I don't know, like, you know, we have a good intuition sometimes, but sometimes it feels like we just woke up and chess was not the first thing we thought about in the morning.
Still warming up.
Yeah.
Hello to Titan Chess in chat. He is someone I worked with before.
Oh, you too. It looks like Elshan also works with
Yes,
him.
very talented player. Just got his first IM norm recently.
Cool.
So
That's nice. That's nice. Congrats.
yes.
Sorry.
Oh no, go.
Can white double on F file and play active for giving up the G pawn?
So probably want to start. So rook f3, probably not the move to play because you do have to watch out for ideas like rook takes d5, take knight d4, take. You can start with rook f1, but I think this knight on e5 is going to be a very good protective piece of the f7 pawn. Because this knight seems pretty difficult to dislodge.
Yeah, I totally agree that that square is better for a knight, not for a rook. So h5 idea. Is there anything else we can do for white if we don't play h3 after h5? Some way to try to stop this rook g5. No, we're a little bit too late for. What about h4? What do you think about h4 here, Caitlin? My plan is if you would take in g4 to go rook g1 and kind of try to, you know, you get the rook to h5. You can play rook h5 now for sure, but I take in g4 and then I place my rook in f4 as well, and maybe I can kind of hold on to that king side in a way.
See, but now I'm eyeing this move you suggested earlier.
F5. You like my f5, of course.
Hey,
Of course.
that's
All my
where
ideas
it works well. Like
are being taken.
they have
That is totally unfair.
Somewhere I have.
And you're not sharing your cookies, so that's actually you are.
I
but
did.
I
I shared with Chris Bird and Larry. I offered you.
Yeah.
You declined.
I declined the
She
cookies.
declined the cookie. She declined the cookie.
Actually, Elshan is known as the Cookie Monster. He loves that Cookie Monster. There's a video of the Cookie Monster, who's trying to learn chess, but he keeps eating all the. No. All the pieces, not chess, but it's more like, what's the other game? Checkers.
Oh.
But he keeps eating all the cookies. I don't know if you know that video. It's really funny. I always show it on camps, and yeah, it happens to be fun.
I don't know. You mentioned checkers, which hurts me a little.
Why?
Because it's not. It's like the imposter. It's played on a checkered board.
No.
But...
I was just like, there's a funny video with the Cookie Monster, because that's a show, like, you know.
Yeah. Cookie Monster's great.
Okay, I only know that video. No, that's all I know about the Cookie Monster. I was not raised in the U.S.
I used to have like a baseball. I think it was a baseball cap that was like a Cookie Monster design. I don't know what happened to it, but
okay.
Well,
next time, it's Caden's birthday. You know what to get him. How is Jesse doing? So Jesse took a draw earlier, this round against Grandmaster John Fedorovich, and Yep, he is leading the tournament at least by half a point. Depends what the other players will be doing this game. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yes, which speaking of, we haven't really checked in on any of these other games, so I'll just do a quick glance. Of these three, this is probably the one that catches my attention with Nicolas Managadze and Javier Torres.
Managaza has
This is
played a lot of attacking games, but this does not seem like it went his way in a way, you know?
feels like he's the one getting attacked a bit. I want to go back a few moves at least. So this looks a little bit more on the positional side, but his opponent takes on e4 and gets f5, and all of a sudden these dark squares look a bit scary. Maybe it's no big deal. And knight takes d6. The move you want to play is met not by taking the knight, but bishop takes f3, where
And
this
the
knight is
trapped.
trapped. So f5, I like f5, and
Titan Chess is asking what was the purpose of h3? Probably restricting some ideas of, sacrifices or something, maybe? He is creating. Maybe he was thinking g4. Could he have been that aggressive, considering he's a very aggressive player?
the
As
style.
we're thinking, yeah, bishop f3. I like bishop f3 in this
Yeah,
position.
I do agree. Often a move like h3 is useful just to play to cover some squares, give your king a little bit of space for the future. But it does feel like there's a higher priority to contend against this bishop, contend for the center, and maybe h3. It's not the worst move, but not the most useful move, and definitely looks out of place with the pawn on g3 now, because you're not getting the benefit of that space. You're getting that space here, and the g3 pawn, particularly in this position, now feels like a target because that pawn is on h3, not h2. So h3, I don't hate it, but with how this is played out, feels a little bit inconsistent in what Managadze was going for. I do agree. A bishop f3 immediately. Wait to see how the position plays out a little bit before committing to h3 or g3 does look better. I do want to check now that it does seem like this is actually the Arthur Gu Max Lu game, right? That's what we are currently
That's what
believing.
we are told,
That's what we are
potentially.
told.
That's what we're told. We don't have Chris Bird to check with us, but there are 6 rounds in this tournament. By the way, everyone, 6 rounds in each tournament. There are 5 different tournaments we're looking at: the Rockefeller, the Barber, the Denker, the Irwin, and the Herring tournament. 5 of them. There's scholarships for the ones that, for all of them besides the Irwin.
Yes.
There are scholarships in the Irwin. There are prizes. In this tournament, in each tournament, everyone comes from a different state. We have some states missing, unfortunately, in each group, but hopefully in